It is Los Angeles, May of 2037. Toxic rain is pouring down over the city where gigantic buildings dwarf ancient skyscrapers. Lights from the billboards flash along the streets and wipe across the crowds of pedestrians in Sector 5. The White Dragon Noodle Bar is crowded with customers sitting on stools slurping their food out of bowls. Veteran Blade Runner Willem Novak is among them, enjoying a few days of hard earned rest and reading today's Independent Sentinel newspaper. As you're sitting there, what looks like a long police car hovers above the streets before lowering down into a marked off area. And the door opens, and a thin woman steps out, looks around, and begins to walk towards you.
I look up from my newspaper and I just give her a friendly enough smile. Maybe she's here for business and she's going to introduce herself. But I wait to see if maybe I'm wrong about that and she just happens to be going in my general direction. But it seems likely since she just came out of a police car.
She walks right up to you, looks you up and down, glances at like a little small um, picture she has, and like a little digital display. Then looks back at you and says, "Are you Willem Novak?"
Yes, ma'am. How may I help you?
"My name is Fenna. I've been ordered to bring you in.
Ah,
Deputy Chief Holden
so
wants to see you."
well, given my okay. And when she adds that, it sounds a little less ominous. I fold my newspaper and very slowly tuck it away. Bring me in just sounded a little bit like maybe I was going to be arrested, but when she said the rest of it, thought maybe I was just overreacting a little. But just in case she's about to tackle me to the ground, I'm being careful.
Now she's not like standing
Can I
in any
bring my
kind
noodles?
of offensive tone. Yeah, she just sort of
Okay.
stands by and waits for you to accompany her back to the police car.
All right. So I bring my noodles because they're real damn good, and I don't want to waste them. And I'm glad she's letting me bring them into her car. And I go up to the car and get in.
All right. So she presses a few buttons in the driver's console. The vehicle lifts off the ground and it heads towards the police station in Sector 1, which is a few miles away from where you are. Um, the building for the LAPD is pretty bland. It's what looks like a concrete square with a few windows dotting the exterior and the little police LAPD shield symbol above the entranceway. There are people around, but the rain is falling, so everyone seems to be quickly moving by. Fenna parks her vehicle in one of the designated spots and leads you inside to an office marked with the name of Deputy Chief Holden on the door. He's a slightly older man with neatly combed hair. He's got a little device on his chest that's helping him breathe. You can hear like the inhale and exhale pumping of the little hydraulics pistons that are helping him breathe. And even though he's basically on a life support device, he's sitting in the office smoking. The smoke is filling the office. And yeah.
All right. I walk in and I have finished my noodles by now. I'm just kind of holding the cup, waiting to find a good spot to throw away. And I look at this old guy that I know. And, you son of a bitch, you're still alive? You haven't quit smoking yet? I'm not even shocked.
Sit down, Novak.
So he has a little laugh and he throws this empty cup of noodles into the trash nearby. Takes a seat. I
Two
didn't
of
know him
them
very
went
well,
to
but
the
that's a
snake
damn
pit
shame.
to investigate supposed Nexus 8 activity, but we don't know if that's what triggered the shooting. According to local cops at the scene, witnesses said there were human supremacist jerks at the snake pit last night. Maybe they had something to do with it. I don't know. I guess we'll read all about it in that slappy, sleazy tabloid Kill tomorrow. You need to figure
Yes,
this
sir.
out, and fast. I have the brass breathing down my neck on this. As you know, the Nexus 9 replicants were approved for use on Earth just last year, and mistrust against the reps is running high. If someone out there is killing and kidnapping Nexus 9s, we need to find them and stop them. Fast. Add to that, the Wallace Corporation is pushing us hard on this. Their business depends on this new breed of replicants, and anything that jeopardizes that would be a major blow to their bottom line. They're letting us run this investigation, but offered their assistance. Their PR manager Quell is expecting you at Wallace Corp headquarters to tell you more about Leia. Play nice with them. I mean it. You can go about this any way you like. Split up to cover more ground if you need to. I'm going to have you and Fenna working on this case together. I don't care how it goes down, but I want results. And fast. You have the full resources of the Rep Detect unit on your disposal. Sanders' body is being processed down in the crime lab right now. Of course, you can check the LAPD mainframe for personal files on Sandor and Leia and any Esper footage of the snake pit last night. Maybe you'll get lucky. I have uploaded to your KI devices all relevant information that we have. Now, go.
I'm a little ticked off because I thought I was going to have a vacation, but at the same time, I'm hiding it pretty well because people have died. This is serious. We've lost some of our own. So I get up and I nod and I get my ass to work. And I walk out and I'm going to head to look at that footage first.
Yeah, Fenna's following right behind you. And let's see.
Is Finn a human? I didn't catch if she was or not.
She hasn't said yet, but
Oh, so I can't really tell.
you know that there are replicants working in the LAPD. But you have not. She hasn't expressed whether or not she is one or not.
All right.
All right. So the first place that you had, you say you wanted to view the basically the crime scene footage in the video. All right. All right. So the LAPD office holds a massive mainframe and the digital display known as the Esper wall. Holden has given you access to view the Esper mainframe, but I'm going to need you to make a tech roll
Okay.
to search for evidence.
Is that a 1d20?
Tech roll is. No, it's going to be D6s. So it's going to be 2d6.
2d6. All right. I got 5. Or 4 and a 1.
All right, so you're going to get a piece of information. It's just going to take it a while to find.
All right.
So there is a report from Leia in the mainframe. It's her performance report.
Seeing a couple of failures on here. Suspension. All right. I look over to what's her name? Fallon?
Fenna. Fenna.
Fenna. Thank you so much. I look over to Fenna and I show her what I've found. What are your thoughts on all this so far, Fenna?
Leia was obviously having difficulties. I don't know the matter in which she was programmed, but there's obviously something wrong. Something shouldn't have been in her system that was. Something was bothering her.
Okay. I want to ask Fenna if she is also a replicant. But I'm trying to be polite and mind my business. It shouldn't matter to me. Help is help. So I look over the little bit of information I've got again. I'm kind of thinking about it. All right. Unless you have a better suggestion, I think we should go down to the crime scene.
All right. So you go to the snake pit. It takes you a little while to get there, um, just because the weather is not cooperating. It's not all that far away, um, but it really is a kind of bar where it's underneath other buildings. There's graffiti over the walls. A stage has been set up on the far side of the room, and a massive bar is in the middle. The room reeks of urine and sex. Yeah, that's about it. There is a
And you said it was raining real bad?
yeah. The weather is pretty bad. It's almost always pretty bad.
Okay.
There is
So I'm not even phased by the weather either. Okay.
no. There's a man in the bar. He's a little hunched over. He looks pretty thin, with silver eyes.
I approached the man at the bar. What's that?
He looks up at you when you walk in, but he doesn't say anything.
I try to seem friendly, give him a half smile. Hello, I'm William Novak. I'm here to investigate on the situation we got here with our. Now, would I consider them? Now, the one. Let me look at the hand. I'll give you a sure. So, with. No, it doesn't seem. Wait a minute. Sorry, navigating my handouts. So she was a Nexus. Oh, no, wait. What is Nexus again? I apologize.
She was in Nexus.
I haven't
9.
seen Blade Runner.
She was the Nexus 9.
Nexus 9.
Basically, the recently developed androids, for lack of a better term.
Okay. All right. We're here to investigate what happened to our Nexus 9 unit. And again, I'm William Novak, and this is my associate Fenna.
Yeah, I was here. I rem I see that. I remember the people who were here. Fenna is holding the display that shows Leia's face. I was here when the shooting happened.
All right. What can you tell us about what you saw?
Oh, not much really.
We'd appreciate any information you got.
There was a whole bunch of drinking going on. Them human supremacists were really going nuts.
Mm.
A lot of drinking, a lot of,
Mm.
I'll say, semi illegal drug use.
I see.
You know, the usual stuff around here.
And and did you say at one point you did recognize Fenna? And what was she doing about these human supremacists going nuts? Did she try to interact with them at all?
She didn't, I don't think. The guy that was with her, uh, he did. The
Ah,
one that was shot.
okay.
But,
Was he
I'm
trying to
sitting
stop
here.
something or?
I'm standing here, just serving drinks to people. I can't be paying attention to everybody and everything going on.
I appreciate that. Anything you have to offer me is helpful.
I don't know if you have
All
much to say.
right. Well, I have more information now than I had before, so I appreciate it. And would I have a card or anything I could give him?
I'll say yeah, you can.
So he has my information.
Yeah.
Okay. This is my information. If you think of anything else that might be useful, please let me know. Um, Thank you for your time. And if you don't mind, could we walk around a little bit and see what we see?
Sure.
This is his business, and though I am a police officer of a sort, I think, right, a detective or a police officer,
Um, I guess you'd say you're a
would
detective.
that be the word I should use?
A
Detective.
detective, yeah.
Though it is a crime scene, and I pretty much could just do what I want. I'm trying to be very polite. I don't want to piss off this one witness that I have that could potentially give me more information if he thinks of anything. So I'm asking if sorry to look around.
All right. So, you start to look around. The most obvious thing, especially near the bar, is a large mirror that seems to be cracked with like a 45-degree angle crack that's massive, but right through the center of it. On the floor, not too
Yeah,
far away from the bar, is a massive blood stain on the carpeting, surrounded by broken bottles and other signs of damage.
looks like a party, and I mean that in a sort of sarcastic way. Uh, Looks like they had a big old to do about that, and that usually is the case when someone's getting murdered in a bar. I figure so. I'm being very careful not to touch anything. I'm pulling on gloves just in case I see something that I need to pick up and put in an evidence bag. But I figure someone's already really combed through this, unless he only assigned me and Finna, and we're supposed to do that too. I would probably know that though somehow. So do I know that, GM? If I'm supposed to be kind of like documenting the entire scene, or is it more like just kind of solve what happened and we've already got all the details set down somewhere?
So basically, the little KI device records everything that you do
Okay.
rather than you having to take actual notes.
Oh, good. Modern technology is so convenient for the future. So I'm carefully combing through the bar area, and I look at Finna after a while. Or I look at the first. I kind of pause over the front of the bar, and I'm looking at the mirror for a second. Finna, would you say that is from a bullet or somebody's face getting slammed into it?
Um, Without deeper analysis, you'd say it's probably a bullet.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, and I'm just poking about, seeing if I get lucky with something, seeing if somebody drops something obvious. Do I need to roll for anything to see if I get lucky, or what should I do,
Yes,
Jim?
I'm gonna say to roll for. I think it's called observation.
Or is that a 2d6 again, or something different, Jim?
It's gonna be 1d6 and a 1d12.
All right, here's the 1d6, and here's the 1d12. I did pretty okay.
All right. So you're looking around on the floor, around the bar, and let's see. You see a what looks like almost like a golden chain with a necklace that's with a stone hanging from it. Yeah, with like a green stone hanging from it.
Okay. I get out one of my little baggies, and well, first I like take a good look at it, and I so that my recording device can see exactly where it is in the room before I touch it. And then I take my gloved hand and I put the necklace in a little baggie, see if we can get anything off of it. Found this, might be from somebody that was involved. Seems like it would be. And I'd let Fenna look at it if she wants to.
Fenna looks at it and goes, "Definitely not. Doesn't belong to a man."
Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption, I'd say. Too pretty. I give a kind of half laugh, and um, I continue to comb the room, seeing what else I might find. The smell's starting to get to me a little bit, but I'm used to this sort of thing still, so I just kind of give a half cough, and I'm poking around behind the bar just to see if I can find the bullet or anything else, if it hasn't already been collected.
You look, but you don't find any kind of shell casing.
Okay. And that would that be normal because it's been cleaned by or put? It just seems like if I found the necklace, I have there. I'm the guy that's supposed to do this stuff, so kind of weird that there isn't a shell casing, I suppose, or at
Um,
least I'm maybe I'm not observant enough to find it yet.
no, you're good. You're very good at observing, but Fenna's also helping you
Hmm.
search. but neither one of you are able to find the shell casing, which is typical for a lot of
That's
weapons. A lot of them use caseless ammo,
okay.
unless they're like
Thank you.
shotguns or heavier weapons. But even your own pistols don't
Okay.
are use caseless ammunition.
All right. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry, I'm such a noob.
No, it's all right. This is a new game for me as well.
so oh, cool, man. Have you seen at least seen Blade Runner, or so you're a fan, or
I have
is
seen
that
them.
new to you too?
I have seen both
Nice.
movies.
Yeah, they had one a while back, and then they had one semi recently, didn't they?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. So I'm still poking around. Since I can't find it showcasing, so it's probably just not that heavy of a weapon, which makes sense. I'm poking around a little more, see if I can see anything else. I'm about to give up on the crime scene and see if I can follow any other leads. If I can find any. It's just, there doesn't seem to be much to work with, or maybe I'm just getting old, rusty, and I just kind of look helplessly at Fenna. You know, if you got anything, any hunch, let me know, okay?
Fen is about to say something to you when her KIA beeps, and she looks at it, and a there's a message that is displayed on the screen. She quickly reads it and looks up at you and tells you that you're expected at Wallace Corp.
Well, all right. So let's get going then, I say, and I tucked the little bag of the what bit of evidence we found, that necklace, and well, no, I think Finna has it, doesn't she?
Yeah, she took it from you.
Okay, so I'm gonna head back to the car.
All right. So, you get out and you fly over to the still under construction Wallace Corp building. It's a very large and extravagant pyramidal shaped building. Um, your police cruiser lands in a massive internal garage that allows you to descend into a large and quite empty interior. There is the walls are gently illuminated by a pale light, but there's a lot of shadows, and you can almost feel like there are eyes watching you. But the only figure you see is a sort of a thin female tapping away at a keyboard, looking at a computer, not really paying attention to you. As you get closer, she turns her head and says, "I've been expecting you."
All right. Well, how may I help you?
I thought you would like to know about Leia and Sandor.
I absolutely would. What can you let me know about what's going on? For as creepy as the setting is, where I feel like I'm being watched, I'm just so old and done with everything that I let it slide. I'm not going to get too sussed about it. This person's going to give me some information, so I'm pretty eager for any help I can get.
All right. So let me see if I can find. All right. So she basically goes down to the explanation of what the Nexus Nines are, how they're very advanced, almost human appearing androids. They were approved for use on Earth approximately 1 year ago. Leia and Sandor were both Nexus Nines that were designed to basically help in the hunting of illegal Nexus 6s, Nexus 7s, and Nexus 8s, some of which have attempted to be active on Earth.
I don't know much about these Nexus machines, but doesn't it seem counterproductive to assign a machine to hunt a machine? Don't you think there might be some conflict of interest, or are you just counting on the fact that they're machines that they're going to do what they're programmed to do?
We know that
I'm sorry, I made a huge assumption there. I assumed that this corporation makes the machines, but that was a huge assumption. I apologize, GM.
she gives you a half smile and says, "No, the Nexus Nines are our first development. Previous editions were released by the Tyrell Corporation that folded a few years ago. We have been trying
All right.
to clean up the mess that Tyrell left behind after his death."
I appreciate that. I guess I'm sort of, oh, maybe this is not just my human whimsy, but it seems to me that if I were a machine, I wouldn't want to hunt my own, even if I was from a different corporation, a different creator. But is that something that you can kind of prepare against with the programming?
Yes. Um, while I oversee much of the programming that occurs, a lot of it has been left up to other individuals in the corporation. They are all
All
tasked
right.
with making sure that the Nexus Nines are safe and effective. What they do, how they do it, may seem counterproductive to you, but everything is being done with the best intentions to make them as accurate as possible, to make them as human as
I
possible.
appreciate that. Ah, all right. Well, thank you for educating me on that. I apologize for my ignorance. I'm getting old and out of touch with the technology of these days.
No, it's quite all right.
Is there anything else you can let me know about what's going on?
I would ask that you keep me apprised of your investigation. We need to know if there was a problem with Leia so that we may correct it in future releases. I
I
expect
think
your
about
full
how I know
cooperation on
that
this.
she had. I think about how I know she had that Leia had those performance review failures. But I'm also thinking about how Boss Man might not want me to just tell some corporate people what's going on with the investigation. So I give her a half smile. I'll do my best. It's not up to me whether or not I share details of the investigation with people that are not directly involved, but if he's feeling magnanimous, I'll let you know what I can.
Any assistance that you provide would be appreciated. If
And
you
I
have
appreciate the assistance you have provided
if you
me.
have any more questions about the Nexus Nines, I would direct you to the memory lab, where many of them have been programmed, including your partner.
Ah, thank you. And I kind of make a mental note of her being a Nexus 9, and that kind of explains why she's not exactly as well. No, no, it doesn't, because I've, I've I don't have that much experience with these Android types, these Nexus, but some of them are kind of chatty at times. But this one's pretty quiet. She's pretty professional. She's pretty speak when spoken to type. So maybe they all have their own personalities of a sort. So I just roll with it. This memory lab, is that can you direct me about where that is, please? I'd appreciate it.
Of course, it's in this building, what you might consider the ground floor.
Oh, thank you so much for your time. And I give her my card, and if you think of anything else, let me know. Also, feel free to call the force, and if you want to speak directly to my boss, see if he has anything he can tell you, or you know, because I don't want to jump over anybody's head, letting anybody know about stuff that I shouldn't. It's nothing personal, I say, and I head on out with my partner, or at least my current partner, my that's helping me finna.
All right. So you follow the brief directions that Quell gave you, and until you finally see a sign that indicates where the memory lab is located. You
All
are
right, I
this section of Wallace Corp is enormous.
ah,
It takes up most of this ground floor of the pyramid building. When you
I'm
go
looking
in,
for anybody that needs
you're
to be
met
working.
with like a secretary type person
Okay.
who just greets you and asks you what you're doing and if she can be of any assistance.
Um, Hello, I'm Detective William Novak. I'm here to ask some questions about learning more about the programming of the Nexus. We've had some incidents here with the units we have on in our force, and I just spoke with what was her name? Damn, I'm
Quell.
sorry, I should have wrote it down. I just spoke
Q
with Quell,
U
and
E
she
L L.
said that I was a Quell.
Yep.
Thank you. Write it down real fast so I don't. I just remember. It's almost like Quill. Quill. All right. I just spoke with Quill, and she welcomed me to come over here and learn more about the programming of the Nexus 9 units. See if I can find anything that will help my investigation. Anything that any assistance that you can provide would be absolutely appreciated, ma'am.
I will inform Miss Tyrell that you are here so that you may speak with her. She excuses herself
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
and disappears in the back into the back of the area, returning a few minutes later with a tall, slightly older woman with brown hair that's tied up behind her head. She looks at you, looks at Fenna, looks back at you, kind of bows slightly and says, "How may I be of assistance?"
Hello, I am Detective William Novak, and I am here to see what I can find out about your Nexus 9 units and their programming. Uh, long story short, um we had an incident with a couple of our units and at the force. Um, is there anything that you have as far as anybody that's made reports on the unit, the Nexus 9 units? Has anyone reported yet that there could be some malfunction to them or anything going wrong, anything out of the ordinary?
No. She gives you sort of like a laugh. There have been no problems with the Nexus 9s. Everything
Hmm.
about them has been very accurate to make them as close to human as possible. Right from their appearance to their memories, all of it.
Well, and not to be combative, ma'am, but that's the thing. If they're going to be approaching human or as close as possible, there seems to be room for error and imperfection at least, because humans are far from perfect. What are the emotional ranges, if any, that you would say a Nexus 9 unit has? Or is it all kind of, if they do have an emotional range, is it a facsimile to an emotion, or is there a genuine sort of sentience to these units?
Well, there's a range of what you would call emotions. It's all based on what they're programmed to do. Some of them are programmed to be police officers. Some are programmed to be entertainers. All of them, they have different emotional ranges. The police officers tend to be lacking in certain emotional areas, while say the entertainers are, you might call them more flamboyant, more extroverted, but
That
there is a
makes sense.
difference.
Yes. And I don't volunteer any information about what I might know about the more flamboyant of the units. I might be guilty of knowing a little bit about that. Anyway, I uh I look down at my I look over at my partner and I look back to the lady that's helping me and well, uh I'm trying to think if I should thinking to myself, should I let her know? And on that we have in fact had the unit that I'm investigating, she had the performance review failures. So that seems less than perfect for something that's supposed to be designed to not have issues, especially something that would be on the police force. So I'm a little confused on that, but I'm not really ready to tell her either that this happened. Even if it might help the investigation, I'm not sure if I should be giving any of these details away. So is there anything else that you think of that you can tell me about these Nexus 9 units and how they might, well, maybe not per se make a mistake, but do something that I wouldn't understand as a human compared to them?
Um, as you're talking to her, you happen to glance slightly to her side, and you see a little girl standing in the corner looking at you. She's clutching like a little stuffed animal, and she's looking at you with wide eyes.
Hmm.
She giggles when she
And
realizes
I
you see her.
kind of pause my conversation. It seems a little odd to bring your kids to work, isn't it?
Please, you don't have to worry about my daughter. She just likes to sit and play. She doesn't want to be at home. So she stays
All
out
right.
here in the waiting room playing with her toys.
Oh, okay. Sorry if that seems a little rude of me, a little judgmental. I'm not used to children anymore, so I move on back to my question. I was like, is there anything else that you could think of that might be useful to me as far as me understanding what might not be mistakes, but just uh, Quell, she mentioned earlier that the units might do stuff that I don't understand that might not seem ordinary, but it's according to their programming, and just something that something like that. Like what could be something an example, for instance, of something that a Nexus 9 unit might do that I might see as out of the ordinary, but it's part of their programming. Especially when it comes to a police officer, I'm just trying to understand a little better. Like maybe I don't know. I wouldn't jump off a building to go after a bad guy, but a Nexus 9 unit would because they're confident they're not going to die. Something like that. Can you think of anything?
Well, most of the Nexus 9s have no trouble. Sometimes the rigors of a police detective will, you might say, mentally damage the Nexus 9s, making some of their more latent memories surface, make them act out in unexpected ways. This can differ from a slight change in personality to, you know, drug use. And she looks over to
Mm.
Fenna and then back to you. But all Nexus 9s who experience this come in for their baseline tests and their reprogramming. Make sure that everything is in tip top shape.
Now, when you say reprogramming, would that change whatever changes that had happened to them? For example, if they had a slight personality change, and you would correct that, right?
Yes, we correct any of the more recent changes. Basically, returning them to a default status, um, wiping whatever traumatic experience that occurred to them out of their memory bank.
Is there
Starting with
isn't any
scratch.
reason why a unit would not? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say.
I missed that.
They just start from scratch.
Okay. Is there any reason why a unit would not want to come in for their reprogramming? Sounds kind of intense to me, but I'm only human. Is there a sort of aversion to it that these units have, or are they just everyday to them because they're machines and they don't care one way or the other, as far as you can tell?
We've had very rare instances of replicants delaying their return to Wallace Corp for their reprogramming.
What do you do when you find out they've been delaying it?
Well, usually they're brought in by force.
I
Like I
see.
said, it's rare.
Ah, of course. This is the most latest technology. It's probably something that's almost infallible.
That's our hopes.
Yes. I'm a little bit curious about the girl in the room, not because of anything in particular, it's just an instinct. Uh, but the lady said that's her daughter, and I don't talk to kids that aren't mine, not without any kind of permission and stuff. So, and it wouldn't be any of use to investigate this curiosity. But I do reach in my pocket and I take out a peppermint. It's kind of an old-fashioned candy these days. And I hold it up to the lady and I say, "You mind if I offer this to your daughter? Or maybe you can give it to her if you want to, if you approve of that." I just thought it'd be nice. Might give her something to do while she passes the time here.
Of
And I
course.
sort of have a hunch, if you don't mind me telling you, GM, that maybe that's not a human either. I'm a little paranoid now about how I couldn't even tell my partner was a Nexus 9.
Now, Lilith says it tells you it's quite all right. You can give her a piece of candy. Um,
All right.
and she turned and kept saying, "Sarah, come. You can. The officer likes to give you something." The girl kind of
Hey,
sheepishly walks
Sarah.
out over to you, and she kind of squeaks hello and doesn't say anything else. She doesn't really. She doesn't reach for
I'm
the
a,
candy.
she reaches for the candy.
No,
I
she
hand
doesn't.
it to her. I'm like, "This is a peppermint." And oh, she doesn't, or she does. I apologize.
At first, she doesn't until you like reach out to hand it to her.
Okay. Hey, Sarah, I'm William. I, this is a peppermint. They used to have them a lot more often when I was a kid. Thought you might like to try it if you haven't already.
She looks at it, looks back at you before finally, unwrapping it and putting it in her mouth. She smiles and then starts to walk away. Lilith says, tells Sarah, "Thank the nice officer for the candy." And the girl smiles, says thank you, and then shuffles off. Still looking at
Would
you.
I know if Nexus 9s eat food and stuff like that, or would it not be in my little base of knowledge and I'd have to ask about it?
You're not sure. You would have to ask Fenna, or you can ask
I
Lilith Tyrell.
will ask who?
You can ask Lilith, the woman that you're
Okay.
with.
All right, I would ask Lilith, but it seems a little sus that I would ask her that after giving her daughter candy, as if I'm trying to test to see if I don't want to give myself away. So I'll just ask Fenna later. I'm like, all right, thank you so much for your time. And have I handed her my card yet? I'm going to do that a lot.
Oh, well, I'm glad I
If I
could.
haven't handed her my card, I hand it over.
I'm
I'm
glad I
sorry,
could
what?
be of assistance. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. I am
Uh,
I'm happy to assist. The Nexus Nines are.
thank,
If there's a problem, we'd like to know about it as soon as possible. The earlier we know about it, the more
thank you. I
we can
appreciate
correct.
it.
Of course.
All right. Absolutely. And thank you so much for your time. I'm going to head back to my office, and uh, if I can think of any other questions for you, I'll let you know. And I give her a handshake, and after I turn to Benno, and it's like, all right, let's go.
Fenna nods and steps out of the way, letting you pass, and she'll follow you.
You know, Finna, you don't have to follow me around like you don't have the right to walk beside me, I say, and not being a jerk about it, it's I figure if they're going to make Nexus 9s as close to human as possible, they shouldn't have to act as subservient or as meek or as second to humans either, because I think that just exasperates the problem with the human supremacists being dickbags about being dickbags, in my opinion. So DM, I'm so sorry. This didn't say 18 plus, and I'm throwing all kinds of words around that maybe I shouldn't,
No,
especially
that's
if you're
quite
trying
all
to
right.
put this on YouTube. I didn't. I thought about. I was like, wait a minute, this might be on YouTube. I'm saying dickbag. I'm sorry. If you have to edit it out, I totally get it. All right. But I kind of give her a little shit, and I'm all like, Finna, you can walk with me. You don't have to. Oh, hey, book. You can walk with me. You don't have to walk behind me.
She sort of smiles and says, I know that. But if I'm being honest,
All right.
I'd rather walk behind you.
Well, I'll try to give you a nice view, ma'am, and I'm kind of half flirting, even though I'm old and she's a machine and I'm not. I uh, I keep on walking back to the car. Can I ask you something real quick about basically the units, do they eat and drink like a human does, or what? How do they? What do they do exactly about that sort of thing?
We can eat and drink to maintain an illusion of humanity, but it does nothing for us.
Ah, all right. See, Finn, I thought I was slick. I thought I could prove that little girl was some type of new unit, because it just seemed odd that as a professional environment as I was in, that you'd bring your kid to work even if she was just hanging out in the lobby and didn't want to be alone. But maybe I'm just overthinking things. I can't really tell. I couldn't even tell you were a Nexus unit, so um, you just seem so human.
She smiles a little bit. We do not have children,
Okay.
and children are not built.
I
There are no Nexus 9 children.
okay. Good to know. Seems a little odd if there were. I To be honest with you, I don't like the idea of somebody making a human-like child out of a robot, because it just seems like it'd be there for somebody's entertainment or to pretend they had a kid or something instead of taking care or adopting a kid. You know what I mean? Just seems like a waste. GM book is in the on the Roll20 site. I don't know if he ever popped in the Discord, but he's on the page if you wanted to pull him in or anything. He hasn't said nothing though. He's one of the players that said he didn't know what was going on.
No, it's all right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Fenna explains that it would be difficult to program a child because the program requires that false memories be used, and a child just wouldn't have enough time to have developed false memories.
Ah. Can you tell me more about what a false memory is? Is that sort of like she would remember, I don't know, being a little younger when she really wasn't even born yet? Something like that.
Well, if it was to be a child, she would have memories of probably playing somewhere like a park, some basically to give her happy memories. Memories tend to be
Yes.
pleasant. My memory is a pleasant memory.
Ah. It's nice that they give you that. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember the things most that aren't so pleasant, but Maybe I'm just a negative person, and at least Finna gets to have happy memories. So I get in the squad car and I'm waiting for her and to get us back down to the station.
She gets in almost immediately, and she asks you where you needed to go.
Let's head back down to the station. I want to check back in with Boss Man and let him know that the corporation wants to know more about the investigation, that they might be interested in the fact that, you know, the Nexus 9 unit that we got from them was failing her performance reviews, but I didn't want to volunteer that information until he told me it was all right.
All right. So, Fenna pilots back to the LAPD, and you go into Holden's office. He looks up at you when you walk in, and his eyes narrow. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be investigating.
I don't want to. I am investigating, but I have hit a small roadblock, sir. I would like to know if you want the corporation to know that uh, the Nexus 9 unit was failing her performance reviews and got suspended.
I am
Because they're very interested in that sort of thing.
I'm well aware of it, and Wallace is well aware of it. We're going to be cooperating with Wallace at all stages. They're letting us take this rather than let their own security forces deal with it.
Okay.
But we have to keep them apprised of everything.
All right. I have no further questions. Thank you so much. Sorry for interrupting your cigarette break, and I'm just giving him shit again about smoking when he's can barely breathe, and I get my ass out of there before he starts cussing at me.
Yeah, he definitely starts swearing at you very soon before you went out of his door.
All right, and I go to my desk, and I figure instead of heading back down to the corporation, I'm gonna just give Quell a call.
All right. Yeah, you're able to contact Quell easily enough.
Mm.
You have like a little video screen that you use to contact, and her face appears on the screen after a few rings. Detective, how may I be of assistance?
I wanted to make sure I got the okay from Boss Man, and I admit I didn't tell you everything I could when I met you, but the Nexus 9 unit, she actually was having difficulties at work. She was failing her performance reviews, and she was suspended after a while. Is that typical for the units that you have on the police forces?
I wouldn't say typical, but it's not unheard of.
Ah, all right. And did she come in, as far as to your knowledge, did she come in for reprogramming at any point, or at least schedule it? Since I imagine if she had been reprogrammed, she would continue to have the difficulties.
As far as I'm aware, she came in to be reprogrammed. All Nexus 9s
Okay.
do report. It's the only way to make sure that they heal their mental stress.
If she came in for reprogram, do you know anything specific, or are you just making the assumption that she did because that's what she's programmed to do, is to come in for reprogramming when she's having difficulties, because she had multiple failures before the suspension? And okay, wait, there says okay, so there's failure, suspension, recalibration, and then active service. Okay. So it says right here that she did go in for recalibration. That's what the reprogramming is, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I apologize. All right. When is there anything that you can tell me, ma'am, about her when she came in for recalibration that you know of,
No.
or anything I can research if you don't mind?
There's nothing that I'm aware of. No. I must say,
Am I
Detective,
able
you're
to
not
get a copy
really.
of the logs?
It doesn't seem like you're really putting a lot of effort into this investigation.
Oh,
I mean, think of all
and
the time you've
why
wasted.
do you feel that way?
You've wasted a lot of time. My security forces could already have taken care of this.
Oh, you believe you can do it better then?
Of
My
course.
boss would be very unhappy with me if that happened.
I'm sure he would be. He already knows what happens if you fail. Obviously,
GM, do I
these
know what
human
happens if I fail?
supremacists are involved. Would
Oh,
you
yes.
know? I think so.
Yes, would I know what happens if I fail?
You know,
Okay.
you would probably guess that they would take over immediately, and it would be violent.
So that's that kind of world where it's not like I would just get fired and I can go back to my noodles. It would be like I might die.
Um, she wouldn't come right out and say that. It's more of an implied threat.
Okay. And is that legal or is that sort of like frowned upon in this world?
Well, she didn't make an active threat against you because it is on the
I guess
less
I'm.
legal side.
Oh, okay. Thank you. As I guess I'm trying to figure it out if I'm living in the Wild West where she could kill me and nobody would give a fuck, even though I'm a cop. All right. Well, I understand if you need to take over, but I'm doing the best I can with what I got. I assure you I will cooperate now that I know that it's totally fine to do so with you as much as possible. Is there anything else I can is there anything I can do for you before we end this call? And I act like I didn't. It went right over my head that threat. I'm just like I don't understand that my life may be in danger.
Find out what happened to the Nexus 9 and kill everybody involved. I know those human supremacists are somehow responsible. We cannot have
All right.
that kind of animosity towards the Nexus Nines.
I keep my opinions to myself on whether or not I think I should be just willy nilly killing humans, even if they are supremacists. But I'm like, all right, I understand. Thank you for your time, ma'am. And I quickly end the call. Because even if they are human supremacists, I don't believe, even as an officer, I can go around killing everybody involved. I don't think that's due process. So, and who the fuck is she? She's a corporation leader, and she can get me killed, but she's not. She's not the government. She's not my boss. So I go to, I get up and I say, Fenna, people these days, and I just kind of go past her, and I'm gonna go get some coffee and think about what I've learned so far. I'm trying to think of if maybe anybody got arrested, if I've seen anything about that has to do with the case. We caught any of those human supremacists yet, or if I got to go hunt them down myself.
All right. Fenna just sort of watches you walk by, and then she goes and drinks a cup of coffee with you. She like leans down on a table and like So, what's our next move?
I'm gonna check the tank, see if anybody's in it. Get the talk to who's ever on shift right now. See if anybody got arrested in this so far. That I mean, I obviously I didn't arrest them, but I'm just the detective trying to figure this out. So maybe somebody caught somebody that's a human supremacist, and that might give me some help. If not, then I guess we got to go do that.
All right. So the lockup, the LAPD lockup, is in the basement area. Um, you go in. It requires, you to identify yourself with a scanner, but you're able to go in without a problem, and the place is basically empty. There's a janitor cleaning
Ah,
up,
fuck! I
but
thought I'd get an
nothing
easy.
else.
All right, then it looks like I got to work for a living. Since obviously I haven't done any of that today. I'm making a reference to getting my ass raked across the coals by Quill, and so I'm like, all right, do you know anything about human supremacists and if they hang out anywhere that you avoid because you don't want to get hurt?
She goes to her KI device and shows you the screen. And I'm going to show you there's an image on the screen. I'm going to share with you right now.
All right. And is this the Snake Pit, that nightclub, or is this a different nightclub? I guess it would be the Snake Pit, right?
That would be the Snake Pit. The editor
Okay.
of Kill Magazine is a human supremacist.
Ah, well, I guess we're gonna go see this editor. And I'm looking to see if I have any way of looking up his address. I imagine since I'm the police, I can do that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's not difficult to get the address for Kill Magazine. We print it pretty prominently.
All right, then let's head out and see what this guy has to say. Doesn't seem likely to me that he necessarily would be the killer at all, because I mean, if I killed somebody and was an editor magazine, I don't think I would try to advertise it unless I was just had that much of a god complex. But who knows? But maybe he's got a friend that does stuff, or he might have not necessarily anything he's willing to tell me, but maybe I can infer something from his behavior. So I'm hopeful. And I head back to the car. The what do you call it? They fly. So are they still called cars when they fly?
They're technically called spinners.
So I head back to the spinner with her.
Fenna goes and flies to the Kill office. Um, it's a couple sectors away, but not altogether far. You just have to cross the other side of the river. The Kill offices are in a larger building on the third floor of what looks to be a slightly run down office complex. There is a prominent Kill Magazine sign next to the door that leads into the office.
I try the door and give it a brief knock before I'm letting myself in.
The
Look around,
door
see if I see anybody.
the door opens, and the office, much like Holden's office, is just filled with smoke.
Like cigarette
There's
smoke?
cigarette smoke. There's a man sitting behind a desk in a little waiting area with not great, not really comfortable looking furniture. He looks up. He's got tired eyes. His cheeks are sagging. He's got gray hair. What do you want?
Oh, well, good morning to you too. My name is Detective William Novak. I'm here to investigate the murder of one of my colleagues, as I put it. And I do it that way just to piss him off in case and so that further in the conversation, when I reveal, if he doesn't already know that I'm here about the replicant murder, that the fact that I just used the word colleague like that, and if he's a uh, human supremacist, he might not like that, and I want to judge just how he reacts.
What do
This is
you?
Fenna, my Nexus 9 unit partner.
Oh, I knew it. Are either of you human?
Well, I'm human. I mean, does they make Nexus 9 unit this old and ugly?
Listen, I've got nothing to say. And he
You
sort
had
of like,
something to say in your magazine.
yeah, well,
You don't publish something called Kill and not expect the police to eventually come sniffing around.
the police are here all the time.
Yeah. So you should be used to this.
Oh, no.
I'm being kind
The
of a
police
dick,
should
but
know.
at the same
No,
time, so is he.
the police know that I'm only going to talk to a human. I'm not going to talk to a
I
fucking
am a human.
robot. I know you're human, but that thing is not.
Well, you're not talking to her, talking to me. You
It's
trying to say
there.
you don't want her around?
No, it can leave. It can go wait in the hall. I'm going to jump off the top of this building. I don't care. Actually, don't bother jumping off the building. You probably survive it. Find a taller building and jump off it.
Yeah, good point. I can't help but laugh, even if it is not something I should probably appropriately laugh at. And I said, Fennel, do you mind waiting in the hall, please? And it's not just because I'm trying to get information out of this guy and make him more comfortable. It just seems the best idea not to put her in danger just in case this guy uh, starts to cause problems and it becomes an issue. I'm not really sure how she might react to too much of this.
She nods. Says, I'll be right outside if you need me. And she walks out
All
of
right,
the
thank you so
office.
much.
So,
All right.
what do you want, robot lover?
Oh, you know me. And I want to know, how did you come to find out about uh the massacre? Was it just on the news, and so you talked about what you saw in the news, basically, and did a little gossip and rumor,
Oh,
or do
you.
you actually
I
know
think
anything
you already
that
know.
might be?
I was there. I saw it all with my two eyes.
Was it cool? I don't actually. I immediately regret saying it that way when I say it because I was being sarcastic and it's coming out. I usually try to pretend to be a nice guy, but something about this guy that pisses me off. Was it cool seeing that Nexus 9 unit getting killed?
Oh, you know, never would have thought I'd see the day where a robot kills another one of its kind. was beautiful.
Hmm. Did you see why one robot would kill another, or did you just catch the end of it?
Listen, we were all having a good time, drinking, you know, pretty sure spending some personal alone time with that robot that the bar has, you know.
Oh yeah, understandable, man.
Like I came out of the back before I can even zip up my pants. I saw this robot shoot another robot.
Wow. What did you see anything else that might be of use to me? Because I noticed non-robot blood hanging out at the club. I mean, it is a nasty place, but did anybody else get hurt? Was this robot just willy-nilly killing everybody, or just that other robot?
Uh, no, she only killed that other robot, but
Hmm.
there were bullets flying. Can't lie, some of my buddies were have itchy trigger fingers. Somebody pulls a gun, everybody pulls their gun.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Totally understandable. Even if a robot is killing another robot, you don't know who that robot's going to kill next, and he's
Exactly.
trying to sound understanding given the situation.
Exactly.
And,
It's
all
self
right,
defense.
exactly. Self-defense. That's right. And oh, so you think that that robot was killing the other robot in self-defense?
I don't know.
He acts like he didn't notice that that might have implied that a human got involved and was killing somebody they shouldn't be killing.
I don't know
You
if
don't know?
there was. I don't know what the motivation was. I don't know what was it
All right.
Wallace what they're doing in their temple. I don't know and I don't care.
All right. I when I looked at the Kill magazine, did I read over it? Do I know anything about the article, or did I just kind of blow through it? Because I did blow through it in actual character, but do you think it might have been assumed I scanned over anything that might be useful to this conversation, GM?
Nothing like you quickly read through it. Nothing jumped out to you.
Just a bunch of yay, robots are dead.
Yeah, basically. Robots are
Okay.
dead. Robots can't be trusted. Here's an ad for a gun
Oh,
for killing robots.
do um I just have one more question. Did you notice anybody that was human getting hurt? Because we can't be having that.
No. Believe me, if one of those damn robots killed a human, now that would be front page news.
Yeah. And that, just to confirm, the blood I saw on the floor, that was blood. It wasn't like robot blood, right? GM?
You would likely assume it was probably robot blood,
Oh, I apologize. I thought it was
but
like a red instead of a whitish
it was
reddish.
kind of hard to tell
Okay.
because it is does have a red tint to it, and most of it had been
Oh,
cleaned up.
oh, that's fair. All right. I was a little confused on that. All right. Thank you so much, GM. Sorry about that.
No, it's all right.
All right. If you could think of anything else, um, oh, um, he takes out his card. You know, I am a robot lover, but it doesn't mean I like them, if you know what I mean. And he hands him a card, and he's just trying to plant that little bit of thing so that maybe next time if he has to interact with this guy, he'll think he's his pal. Like, oh yeah, I have robot prostitute friends too, and sort of thing. And then he takes his leave, goes back out to Finna. All right, Finna, we're gonna head back to the club and talk to the robot they got behind the bar that kind of takes care of the customers. And that wasn't the bartender, right? That bartender was human, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna go talk to that unit and see what they have to say about what happened that night. I didn't even take a check to see if there would be anybody else to talk to, but if they got a Nexus unit, then I definitely want to speak to that unit.
All right. You go back to the snake pit. Fenna just drives the spinner back over to Sector 1. The bartender greets you again, and after you ask, he introduces you to she calls herself a dancer, and with
Okay.
a name Iris. She's got short white hair
Hi, Iris.
and brown eyes. How may I help you? Oh, did I? Oh, motherfucker. I just got kicked out. Motherfucker. Oh,
Hey, GM.
yeah, sorry about that. My internet dropped out all of a sudden.
No worry. I thought it was me, so I hung up and got connected again.
No. All right. She says her name is Iris and asks if there's anything she can do.
Oh, Iris, it's my understanding that on the night of the incident, you were helping customers, correct? You were working?
Of course. That's what I
And,
do.
oh, is prostitution legal in this world, or is it something that she wouldn't really be upfront about with me?
Um, she would tell you that what she did was not prostitution. Not that it's
Okay.
illegal for Nexus Nights.
Okay. All right. There was a gentleman that publishes a magazine that you were assisting on the night of the murders. Of the night of the murder. Um, can you tell me more about him? Did you gather anything about him? He seemed a complicated fellow. On the one hand, he is a human supremacist. On the other hand, he didn't mind getting help from you. His name is what was his name? I apologize.
Oh, his
The
name
magazine
was.
writer.
Yeah. Okay. His name was Gel Shilar.
All right. Yeah, Mr. Joe Filer. I don't know if you remember his name, but and I just kind of describe him as an older man and smoker, that sort of thing. Yeah, he was there for the incident. He saw everything. He said just as he was walking out, it happened. So you might remember this man.
I don't know. She sort of leans closer to you. I didn't see anything.
You don't know. Ah, well, being that, you work in a business where there was a murder, does that constitute you having to go in for reprogramming?
No, I didn't see anything. There's nothing wrong.
That's a problem. Oh, is there, if you didn't see anything, I imagine you don't know anything about why these the Nexus 9 unit would attack another one since you were busy working. Um, is there anything that might be useful you could think of to tell me, or?
I don't
And I'm
know.
a little distracted. She's leaned in, and I'm sorry. Go
I don't know. I mean, I heard a gunshot, loud, but I didn't see who pulled the trigger.
ahead. Did you hear more than one gunshot, or just one?
Oh, just the one.
Hmm. I'm thinking about what the magazine editor told me about how everybody supposedly drew their guns like Billy Badasses, and there was a shootout or something, or at least implied. I'm trying to figure out how exactly that was. Kind of sounds like he was just full of shit. I mean, it isn't entirely impossible that one robot would kill another, but I mean, if they are not absolutely perfect, then they can have malfunctions, even if they are rare. But it seems more likely that somebody that doesn't like a robot would kill them if they had the opportunity, even if one's on the run. Because I mean, it's like it said replicant killer on the run, and that would be another Nexus 9 unit that's on the run, right? Or are they both dead? I apologize. Sorry, uh, I'm the type of person where I'm reading a book, and if I forget something, I go back and I read it real quick. But if it's all verbal, it's a little harder for me to keep up with all the details if it's a new story to me.
That's all right.
So, are there so one robot is dead, or both robots are dead?
Just the one robot was dead.
Another one ran off,
Presumed missing.
missing. Okay, all right. And the Wallace Corporation believes that the human supremacists are the ones that are responsible, correct? If I
Yes.
remember correctly. Okay. And they would, because if they're even if their product is killing their own product, even if it's not a human, it just there could be an easy jump from killing your own to killing a human. He figures so. Why would they want any kind of bad publicity of robots killing robots? So he just kind of makes a mental note of that. All right, Iris. And he kind of he. Oh, what's money like in this world? Is it like a credits thing that you've digitally transferred?
Um, I'm gonna say yes. You're able to
Okay,
do.
so that's trackable.
Yeah, you have enough of. Everyone has enough like general spending money. Other than that, you have a larger
Hmm.
account that you would have to draw money from.
Okay. Yeah, he thinks about it. He could tap into his own personal money, but that would probably look bad. And if he does it, he taps into the money for work, like the petty cash, if I don't know what you call it, the budget. That would look bad too, because he's trying to think about if he can bribe this worker. Um, you know, I've got, and he doesn't, but he kind of implies I got money and I'm old. I don't really have anybody to spend it on, and you seem like you work hard and you could have more use for some credits than I would. Um, there's anything else you can think of, I can make it worth your while. And he kind of lets that sit there, even though it's not exactly ethical to pay people for information, especially if that information might not be accurate. They're just trying to get money, but he's testing the waters to see how that gets a better reaction out of her. Although police do pay informants, don't they?
They do. They will.
Okay, so it's not exactly unethical. It's just a little sus the way he's doing it, maybe.
Well, she's like, if you really interested in spending some time, quality time, I'm sure we can work something out. My prices
I
are very
mean,
reasonable.
I am working, but if by quality time you mean me and you can talk in private, then I can definitely pay you for your time. And he's not trying to have sex with her right now on the job. That would be crazy. And he's pretty sure he'd get fired for that. But he's thinking maybe if he gives her money, even if he's not doing anything to cash in on the money, he's hoping to cash in on some information. Maybe if he gets her alone in the back room and everybody thinks he's having sex with her, she'll open up a little more.
Well, why don't you, your partner's right there. Why don't you just ask her to step out and you and me can talk?
All right. Then can you give us some privacy?
She raises an eyebrow and then walks out of the room.
And he's a money up front kind of man with these sort of interactions because he knows that some guys are cheap and want to try to get something for free, and he wants to make sure that this Iris knows that he's not that kind of guy. All right, so how much do you charge for I don't know, the works, all the good stuff? And he's just being vague because he's just trying to give her a lot of money for some information.
Well, normally it's 3 Kenyan, but I think for you, she puts a hand on your leg, 2 for
Ah,
everything.
do you accept tips?
Of
Do you
course,
accept tips?
of course.
All right, so he goes ahead and transfers 5 to her. She gave him discounts so she can, keep the extra. Um and now that we've got that all out of the way, Iris, and in that it's safe to assume that the bartender club owner guy, he's not around, right?
No.
Okay. Now we've gotten that out of the
Marsha,
way.
you
You
guys
can
are
be
completely alone.
okay. Iris, now that we've gotten that out of the way, I can be very generous, and I don't ask for much. Just anything you can tell me about what's going on. And as he's talking, he's trying to make it sound like he might be interested in more than just talking, just in case she's got some kind of programming where she has to do her job if she's paid for it. So he's gonna like make it seem like he might take her up on it, but he's really not. He doesn't have time for all that, and he's not trying to get fired. So he's kind of pets at her hair and gets closer.
Well, what do you want to know? Maybe I can. And she's slowly like undoing her shirt. Answer any questions you have.
Oh yeah, a little role play, he says, and he's trying to keep it lighthearted. And like maybe I can be a detective and you can be a witness, and he's just like he thinks he's funny. And he's trying to keep his eyes on hers. And he says, you know, it seems like it was a very scary situation
Oh,
to have to be around. Hmm?
it was very scary, but like I said, I didn't see anything.
Of course not. I mean, and you wouldn't want to have to see anything because then they would the corporation would want you to come in, right?
Oh yeah, but I didn't see anything, so
Mm. We wouldn't want that.
there's no reason for me to go in.
Well, what if I tell you a secret? I don't like the corporation, and I don't see any reason why you would have to come in, even if you did see anything. And I just kind of keep petting at her hair, and I'm keeping my eyes up. I'm trying real hard to be good because I'm on the clock.
Exactly. That's really good to hear. I'm always glad to hear when people are against Wallace Corp.
Yeah, because I mean, though they made you, they don't own you. They can't just willy nilly reprogram you when they feel like it. And I'm sorry, what?
Well, there are times where situations are better to forget. Memories do need
You
to.
think so?
I meet all sorts of people. Some
Mm, yes.
worth forgetting.
Have you been reprogrammed recently, ma'am? Or
Oh,
when's the last time you had to go in for some cleanup?
huh. I mean, it's been a couple months since my last reprogramming. But
Are
as
you
for
able to
me,
forget memories without it?
I can repress some until my until I go in, have it all permanently taken care of.
Okay.
As for cleaning, I don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry
Okay.
about that.
Oh, he just meant like cleaning up the memories. He didn't mean like she was skanky or nothing. But he lets it go. He doesn't pursue that. He's trying to see. He thinks he's making leeway here. Thinks he's making ground, but it's not real sure. So he lets his hand drift to her hip and he gives it a squeeze. You know, the people at Wallace Corp, they seem like assholes. They wouldn't be able to tell from me talking to you that I said that, though, right? They don't have a direct feed into your memory. They can only look at it if you go in and they check it out.
Oh yeah, they don't know what I know. They don't care to know what I know.
Hmm. I'd like to know what you know, though.
Oh,
You can. I'm very curious, and he's kind of gives her temple a nuzzle, and he's trying so hard to be good, especially because this is going to go on YouTube, or it might go on YouTube, and I don't want to put anything too crazy on it.
so she doesn't really have anything else to say. She's just gonna sort of lean into the whole prostitution angle,
Hmm.
and
Well,
there's
once
no
he
reason to let it
notices
keep
that
on.
she's not,
I don't feel comfortable just really hitting on you anymore.
yeah, no worries, man. I thought I was getting somewhere with it as far as information, but she really doesn't seem to be either. No, she doesn't know, or she just isn't going to budge. Sorry. By the way, GM, if I ever like play too much into a role and you're like you want to
Uh,
black screen over something or breeze through it, feel free. I'm not going to get insulted.
no, it's appreciated, but no, I just like I'm sitting here basically trying to seduce you. I'm like getting to a point where I'm like, I don't know how much more I can do it,
You did
but
a lot more than I thought. I was like, man, he's so comfortable. He doesn't give a fuck. And I write stories all the time, so I have to write both angles. So I don't care. It's all the same to me. All right. So once Novak realizes, she's really going to do the deed, and she's not going to tell him anything, whether she knows or not. He kind of backs up, and it's like oh man, I got to get going. Keep change. Just no refunds, nothing. I got to get going. I got to get back to work, and he rushes out before he can bears himself further.
And she
Hey,
tells you that
he
you
says
can
to his
come back
partner.
whenever you want.
Oh man, yep, that's all right. He's a hoe bag, but he's feeling pretty stupid for doing that on the clock because he thought he had something, but he didn't get anything out of it as far as information. So he's kind of like, "Oh man, all I'm doing is wasting time." But how you doing? And he kind of clears his throat, and he's uh grateful he's a little older, so he was able to get through that without having to adjust his pants. So, man, can you think of anything else we might try? Because that didn't work at all.
No, it definitely didn't work. I really thought you'd be gone longer.
No, no. I thought if I made her think I was going to give her a lot of money, and I did give her some of my money to, you know, do something that she does for a living. I thought if maybe I did that, then she'd open up to me and trust me. About all I got from her was that she likes it when people don't trust Wallace Corporation. Is that something you feel as well, Fenna, or is that just an anomaly in a Nexus unit?
That's a little bit of an anomaly, but trust issues aren't totally unheard of.
Yeah. How do you feel about Wallace Corporation?
I don't feel one way or another towards them. They made me.
All right, fair enough.
That's it. I
All
haven't
right.
had to go back for
Yes.
reprogramming in my. I've only had to go back once in my time.
Okay. And is there any way I can get information on that, or is it just something that because you don't wouldn't remember what happened because you were reprogrammed? There's just no use in looking into it. And he's sort of like he thinks if he goes to Wells Corporation, they probably won't be very upfront about much of their fixing of their mistakes because then they're admitting they're making mistakes. So he just sort of, if he figures if he can't get Fenna to talk more about that, then he's just going to let it go.
Honestly, I don't remember all the details of why
Okay.
I was reprogrammed, but it happened.
You didn't keep a journal or anything? I imagine not, since you don't want to remember, right?
No, we don't often
Okay.
keep journals.
Fair enough. Fair enough. He uh he starts heading back toward the spinner. He's racking his brain. Um, and as they get into the spinner, he pulls up that magazine again, and he's looking through it, and he's trying to see if there's any kind of hint on where uh human supremacists hang out besides the editor's office and the snake pit, where he might find some protests going on if he, to his knowledge, or if he hears or sees anything around town too that might be useful.
All right. So you get out, go back to the spinner, and as Fenna takes off, I'm gonna need you to make an observation roll.
All right. What
That's
how
a
what is
D6
it?
and
A
a D12.
D12 again?
Yeah.
Okay, D6 and oh, nice. D12. Oh wow. When I play D&D, I roll so shit, but I'm rolling okay in this game. I assume high is okay.
Yes. Yeah. Anything above 6 is good.
Nice.
So as you're getting in the spinner and it's taking off, you notice three more spinners approaching you, unmarked. Their screens or their windows are completely blacked out, but you can tell that each one of them has what look like heavy weapons attached to them.
Then how fast can you drive?
And she looks at you and says, "Fast." Actually, before I answer that, I'm gonna look. How fast can she drive? Not fast at all, is what she says.
Okay, she's very safe.
She's
All
telling me
right,
she's a careful driver.
very careful. All right. Well, Finn, I'm gonna need you to let me drive. Because if I do it, that's all right. Nobody's gonna no harm in that. What's up?
Yeah, she says, if you insist.
I do. And do I need to roll for fast driving and getting away from these guys? They seem like they might want me some harm if they're following me
Yes.
with blacked out windows and heavy artillery. All
You
right.
need to roll 2d6.
All right. 2d6. All right.
All right, so you got one success. You take off at a high rate of speed, but they are pursuing you. Um, and as you're flying away, you can hear guns going off behind you, and bullets are whizzing past you.
Then I'm gonna need you to contact Boss Man and let him know this is happening, and I'm gonna need some backup units because I am we're in danger. And he says the obvious. He's being pretty calm about it, but he's not. He just seems calm.
She takes her KIA and starts typing, and she tries to call, but you hear the static. She looks at you and says, "There's no one there."
Ah, great. So is there GM? Is there no one there, or do they have maybe a blocker they could do on technology so that nobody can call for help?
They might be blocking your call somehow.
Okay, thank you. All right. So what kind of artillery do I have as a detective?
You have the handgun that you are carrying, and that's it.
Nah, that's shit. All right, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna see if I can go a little faster.
All right, again, roll 2d6.
All right. Yeah.
So you try to make the spinner go faster, but it doesn't move anymore. And the other ones are steadily approaching.
All right, he's gonna pull some fucking GTA bullshit parking brake thing and spin around and play chicken, and see if he can jump out. Mate, well, I don't know.
All right. Again,
Maybe he should communicate a little.
this
He
would
can't jump out. He's flying. Ah,
he's
shit.
flying. He's piloting. But if you wanted to turn
Yeah.
the spinner around, you'd have to make another driving roll.
Okay. 2d6.
Yep.
All right. Guess.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The spinner turns on a dime. It just almost, with barely any effort, turns back at them and accelerates in their direction. Now you have
All right. Are they gonna?
all their weapons automatically turn to point at you, and they keep shooting. You even feel this. Your
I assume my
rock
spinner's.
as a bullet hits what you presume to be an engine.
Okay. Well, I thought about getting out of the spinner and running, but that seems like suicide. So I'm just gonna play chicken and get shot at until Because I don't really know to do. I what else can I do? I can do the equivalent of roll down the window and see if I can shoot at something, right, with my little
Yeah.
piddling handgun.
That's
See if I can
exactly
do
what
some.
Fenna is doing. She hits a button on the door she's next to, which and it opens up. She puts her what kind of weapons does she have? Please let me just go. She puts her blaster out and she starts trying to shoot at the oncoming spinners.
All right, and I'm gonna have a hand on the wheel and foot on the gas, kind of, or whatever button equivalent. And I'm gonna be shooting at the spinners too. I'm trying to see if I can shoot anything important mm, on the spinners, like a engine or I can't. I guess not a wheel. That doesn't matter because they're flying. But I'm trying to disable the cars or the spinners as best as I can with my piddling handgun.
All right. You see one of the vehicles gets hit by Fenna's shooting, and it sort of rocks a little bit, um, veers, and like just a little bit before it resumes shooting.
Right. And I'm gonna see if I can. If we're playing chicken, I'm gonna see if I can fly past them or above or below them, and just I'm driving crazy because I'm trying to save our lives here.
All right. Again, a 2d6.
All right. Eh.
You approach one of the spinners, and at the last moment, there's sort of like a little cling of metal, and you go right next to each other. Your
Okay.
spinner is not damaged, but it's also not moving as fast as it had been.
Okay. I'm just pelting away at the spinner, trying to see if I can shoot at the window. I assume it's probably bulletproof, but yeah, I'm trying at least be scary because God knows these guys are scaring the shit out of me, and I'm
All
gonna have
right.
to reload soon.
I'm
And
gonna say you can make a firearms roll. It's a D6 plus a D12.
D6, D12. Ah, that's shit.
Yeah, you're trying to shoot, but your bullets aren't. Your ammunition's not hit striking. You're not striking any of the spinners.
Okay. All right, GM, how you doing on time?
I got a few more minutes, and then I gotta get going.
Oh, good. So we line up because that's the same here.
All right. So Fenna's gonna shoot again. She's not really good at this, but she's good enough. Um, so she manages to shoot and barely hits one of the other spinners right in the little screen. And it shatters, and the vehicle sort of like wobbles before pulling away.
Oh, all right. Good job, Finna. Um, is there another spinner that's still pursuing them, or is it
Yes,
did
yes,
we
there were
clear that up?
three initially.
Three. So that's just one down, two to go.
Yep.
All right. The Novak, he's just driving like really aggressive. As soon as he flies past one guy or gets beside one guy, he's just like zooming up and down the road, back or the breezeway. I don't know what you call it when you're flying, but he's going back and forth. He's playing chicken over and over and shooting at these guys and reloading and driving crazy. He figures the faster he moves and the more erratically he moves, the more likely they might live if he doesn't fuck it up and crash into something.
All right. So first, make your driving roll, 2d6.
2d6. Do good, dice. Love me. Eh.
All right. So you're trying to drive erratically, but it's not super crazy. You're gonna try shooting again. So make another firearms roll. Be a D6 plus a
What's
D12.
1, 6, D12? Oh man.
Yeah, you
Now it's starting
miss.
to feel like D&D because that's how I rolled this.
No, you just barely miss. Um,
Oh, that tracks.
so pilot's gonna shoot at you. As you pass. He manages to get a shot right into your engine, and your spinner starts to descend
All right.
rather quickly.
Is it is it is it like a crash kind of thing?
Most likely it will crash.
All right. Can I make some kind of
You can make
effort to land as softly as possible?
you can make another driving roll to try to just land carefully, or you can say screw it all and jump out.
Well, as soon as I get out of the spinner, they're going to be able to shoot at me and not just the spinner I'm in. So I'm not real eager on getting out of this vehicle. But at the same time, if I hit the ground hard and it blows up, we're fucked. So I'm gonna make an effort to try to land softly. What would I roll for that?
2d6.
2d6. Come on, good to me.
No. So you try to pull the throttle, but the spinner doesn't respond, and it just crashes into the street.
Fuck. All right. Jam, do I live? My hurt.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna need you to roll. Do you know how to roll a d66?
D66. So that'd be
Basically, it's 2d6, and the first one's gonna
slash
be the
R.
tens. The second one's gonna be the ones.
Okay, so 66. So 60, 10. Is that how that goes?
2d6.
And then, 2d6. Okay. Sorry, math is hard. 2d6. And then what was the other one?
No, that's all you needed to do was just 2d6. All right, so
Okay.
35. You survive the crash, um, but you feel your legs snap.
So then I get the fuck out of here. And he's just, he's like gritting his teeth and he's fucked. And he figures whoever this is, they're probably not friendly.
You
There's
turn to look
heavy
at
evidence to
Frenna,
suggest that they are not
and
friendly.
she's got a metal pole straight through her skull.
So I'm gonna reload my gun and kind of grit my teeth hard through the pain. I'm staying inside the vehicle unless it's on fire and about to blow up, and I'm gonna
No,
wait for them to come for me.
it's not on fire.
That's at least there's that. I got that going for me, man.
So you're gonna stay. You can still reach your arm out and shoot at the spinners, the two spinners that are coming close, that are lowering down to you. if you so wish
I'm
to.
gonna yeah, I'm gonna wait until these if they get out of the spinners. I'm gonna since they're lowering down. I'm just gonna try to seem like I might not be alive inside the spinner and see if they come to investigate.
All right. Um, the two remaining dark spinners land. The passenger doors open, and two men step out of each one. They're dressed entirely in black combat gear, um, carrying automatic rifles. They approach your spinner, um, carefully walking around it. Their guns trained on the doors. Um, one walks up to Fenicide and looks at the metal beam that's pierced her skull and just shoots one round into her head just to make sure that she's not gonna move. And satisfied, they approach your door. They open your
And
door and they put the rifles at your skull, at your head. And I'm gonna give you one chance to do something before they
I
shoot.
am going. All right, I am going to take my hand off my gun and lift my arms.
Are you like surrendering?
I know what I'm beat. I am surrendering.
All right. So, one of them, the one is gonna walk up right to you and grab hold of you. He pulls you out of the spinner, puts your hands behind your back, kneels down, and binds your wrists together.
Is he kind of supporting my weight, or am I trying to stand on those maybe not functioning to the best of their ability legs of mine?
He's gonna try to lift you up, but he's not being nice about it.
Okay. Oh yeah, I probably should play those. All right. I grit my teeth and I'm kind of, making a little bit of racket, but I'm being cooperative. I know that I am not in the best situation, and best I can do is cooperate. Uh, I am not gonna say anything unless spoken to, and I am not going to give them any resistance.
All right. They take you back to the Wallace Corp, where
Nah, of
Qual
course.
meets you and tells you that she's tired of dealing with this. She's taking over. Um, they already know. They have their suspicions, and they're going. They want to basically brush this under the rug, as if it never happened. And they're going to put Willem into the equivalent of a holding cell underneath the building and remove all records of Sandor and Leia from their system.
Okay.
And that is where the
And does she
scenario.
tell me that she's gonna do that?
Yeah, she does tell you that she's going to do that.
Okay.
And she basically tells you that you're going to be forgotten as you're brought into a cell, the door's locked, and the scenario ends.